What's going on, everybody? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Welcome to day 2, session number 6 of the Vonza Level Up Challenge. Excited to have you on here today. We have amazing speakers lined up, so go ahead and share this video right now. Tag somebody, tell them to come on. The sessions are going to be fire tonight, so I'm doing the same thing. I'm sharing right now. So you can do the same thing as well. Get on your phone, share it, and invite people to be a part of this great session today. All right, so let me go ahead and share right now to my groups and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be amazing, guys. So let me know, are you enjoying all these things so far? Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying it? Are you learning? You know, are you excited? Good. Yes, it's going to be really awesome tonight. Let me know where you're watching from so I can say hello to you. Are you watching from the United States? Are you watching from Canada? Are you watching from Zimbabwe? Are you watching from, where are you watching from? I want to say hello to you. I want to greet you. I want to appreciate you for coming on. Some of you have never missed a session. So today we're going to give a giveaway for the most engaged. That means the person that makes the most like, comment, and share. Don't worry, the software is going to tell me if you're sharing or not. So you can't trick it. If you're not sharing, I'm going to know because it's going to tell me. So, all right, learning so much. All right, thank you. Ida said, I'm enjoying it and I'm excited. Ida is from Atlanta, Georgia. Great. This is exciting. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So everybody go ahead and share this message now. Tell somebody, tag somebody. We are just getting started. I'm bringing great information to you that's going to help your business. So the purpose of this summit is to help you build a successful digital product business, not just only in 2021, but also in 2022 and beyond. So I hope you're ready, guys, because I'm ready to release today. So our first speaker is supposed to be Miss Nancy, but unfortunately she's not going to be able to make it. So I only got 5 minutes I got this message 5 minutes before I was to come online. So that means I'm going to be the first speaker today, and I got 5 minutes to prepare this message. So I hope my speech is good. If this class is not good, don't hold it. Don't take it personal. I only had 5 minutes to prepare. Okay. So I'm going to teach on the 4 C's of marketing, the 4 C of marketing. Okay. So when it comes to marketing a business, I'm going to be teaching about the 4 strategy that will help anybody, help you to start and grow a successful digital product business. So make sure you have a pen and paper ready. Yeah, Tyler says she's ready. That's amazing. So make sure you have a pen and paper ready so that we can begin talking about the 4 C's of marketing. So I'm going to be speaking, like I said, I'll be speaking in this session because our 7 p.m. session speaker cannot make it. So I'm your speaker for today. Hope you guys are ready. So let's talk about the 4 C of marketing. Somebody put it on the screen, the 4 C of marketing. Oh, before I do that, let me remind everybody, because this is so important, guys. Tonight, we're going to be deleting all the videos we recorded so far. So you need to get a replay, okay? Some of you are like, yeah, you're really excited, you're appreciating, this free conference we brought to you, but one of the ways you can appreciate too is to to buy the replay. It's only $47. That helps. That $47 replay and $47 helps us to also continue to offer this great program to you and help us to cover the cost of this event. Okay, so please support and also to get the replay, because you need this information so you can have lifetime access to it and you can listen to it over and over again. So you go to bit.ly/Vonza Level Up, bit.ly/Vonza Level Up, bit.ly// Vonza Level Up to buy the replay. It's only $47. All right. So today we're talking about the 4 C's of marketing. Let's go. So when it comes to having a digital product business, right? One of the most important things is that you know how to market that business, you know how to sell it. Because one of the things that holds a lot of people back is not the product, it's not the course, it's not the membership, it is the marketing of it, right? Some people have really great ideas, they have really great product, physical product, digital product, online course, membership, they have all this great stuff they are providing, right? But they are not making money online because they don't know how to market it. Let me tell you right now, if you don't know how to market your product or your service, you are not going to make money online. So don't give up on your idea. Don't give up on your product. Don't give up on your online course. Don't give up on your membership. Don't give up on your business, right? Just because you're not making money, that does not mean that your business is not good. So what could be happening is because, right, you just don't know how to market. Marketing is like being an hunter. If you're an hunter, right, you gotta go to the forest, right, to hunt for food, right? Now, because you are not able to catch any food or you're not able to kill any animal for food, doesn't mean that the animals are not there, right? You just don't know how to hunt yet. You just don't know how to fish yet, right? So that's why marketing is so important. It is so important that you know how to market yourself, know how to market your product, know how to market your services. Okay. And let me say right now, one of the biggest myths when it comes to marketing is that people feel like they need to have a big following to be able to make money online. That's not true. If you look at me, I don't have a lot of following. I don't have a big following like some other people do. I got friends, or some of my friends that came to speak already. They got David Immunity has like 800,000. 800,000. That's a lot. That's almost 1 million. Many of them have thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers. I don't have that kind of followers, right? But I still make money online. Why? Because I understand the 4 C's of marketing, the 4 C of marketing. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you tonight. So let me just kind of erase that doubt in your mind, erase that thinking that you need a lot of followers to make money online. No, you don't. You don't need a lot of followers, right? So another myth to a lot of people think is that you need a lot of money to make money online. No, you don't need a lot of money to make money online. You just need to follow and understand this 4 C of marketing. And then once you follow the strategy, you're going to be successful online and in your business. So I need you guys to share this video one more time. Okay. You guys are not as generous with your sharing today like you've been in other sessions. I don't know if you guys are getting tired of these meetings or something. You guys are not sharing like you were sharing before. Okay. I want these numbers to go forward. All right. So let's go into the 4 C of marketing. Number one is clarity. So I'm put on the screen. Number one is clarity. You need to know what you are selling, and you need to know who you are selling to, right? So you need clarity. Some people, they put a digital product out there, they put an ebook, they put an online course, they put marketing, but they don't know who they are selling to, right? And because of that, they are not able to make money online. Okay. You got to know who you are selling to. My wife released an ebook recently, right? And the ebook is to help people start their coaching business, right? Who is she talking to? She needs to have clarity. She has clarity. She's talking to people who want to start coaching businesses, and then she can help them start coaching businesses. If she was talking to people who are trying to start truck driving business or start a cleaning business and she's selling a coaching product, she would not sell because she's talking to the wrong audience. The same with you. If you are not selling, if you are not making money, you need to first make sure that you are not talking to the wrong audience. You need to first have the clarity to know what you're selling who you are selling to, right? And then that's the very first step. So you need clarity. What are you offering? Another thing about clarity too is that some people don't know or understand what problem they are solving, right? So if your ebook is about cooking, for example, is the problem you are solving is helping people learn how to cook, right? Or is it helping people how to learn or helping people to cook better? Or teaching people what mistakes to avoid in cooking? You see, there are different angles on cooking. You cannot say, oh, I have a cooking ebook. I have a cooking ebook. I want people to buy it. Okay, but what exactly is the problem your cooking ebook is solving? There has to be clarity. You need to have clarity on that. You get what I'm saying? And that clarity helps you to better write the ebook or write the online course or membership so that you can properly, talk to the right audience, and then you can monetize that. Are you getting something already? What I'm dropping today? Let me know if you are getting something already, because I feel like this is so good, right? So what I'm trying to say right now is that don't give up on your ideas. Don't tell yourself that you're not good in business. Don't tell yourself that you are not making money online. Don't tell yourself that Vonza is not working for you. No, the problem is not Vonza. The problem is not even the products you are selling, right? Don't tell yourself. Sorry, the product is not the problem you are selling. Don't tell yourself that the problem is that you. Not working. Hold on one second. No, sorry. The problem is not Vonza. The problem is not what you are selling. The problem is that you just don't have clarity to know exactly the problem you are solving and who you are solving that problem for. Number one is clarity. Number two, you got to communicate. You got to have the right messaging. Okay, the right messaging is very, very important as well. That's why you got to communicate. So number one, you need clarity. Number two, you got to communicate, right? What does it mean when I talk about communication? Communication means that you know how to market your business with communication. You know what to say, right? And when it comes to communication, there are three things that are important. Is the story. You have to have the right story. You have to write the right hook. I need to write the right, you need to have the right offer. Let me break that down. You need to have the right story, right? Just telling people, buy my ebook, buy my online course, buy my membership. Nobody want to be sold to. People don't want to be sold to, right? People want to buy, but they don't want to be sold to. There are two different things, right? So what do? You have to come up with a story and say, hey, this ebook, I created this ebook because I let's use cooking for example. I created this ebook before because I was not a good cook for many years, and because of that, my husband, my wife left me, or my children didn't want to eat my food because my cooking was so bad. So now I went to cooking school, or I learned on YouTube how to make good cooking things, and I put this ebook together to teach you, to help you to become a master chef without going to cooking school, right? So I took my time to learn all these things to teach you how to cook so that you don't have to put in the work that I had to put in to learn how to cook, right? So you see, you got to come up with your own story. You got to find the story that works, and a story that that imparts, and a story that really connects with your audience, right? And then that's how you sell what you are offering. It is communication, and communication is people communication story who can offer. Tell a story around your product. Tell a story around your online course. Tell a story around your ebook. Tell a story around your membership. Tell a story about whatever you are selling, right? And when you tell that story, it's that story that connects with people. Write this down. People are emotional buyers. People don't buy rationally. People buy emotionally. So if you're trying to say a rational thing, so you say try to sell something and you think they're going to be rational and know they want it. It doesn't work like that. People are emotional beings, right? So you got to tell a story, and tell a personal story, and let your story have some kind of epiphany, right? I used to be doing this the wrong way, but now I found the right way. Or I used to not be I used to not know how to do this, or I was losing money, I was losing sleep, I was losing joy. Something bad was happening because of some knowledge or some information you didn't have. But now you figured out do that thing right now, and now people like you. You see what I'm saying? So you need to have a story. So every one of you, I want you to find and put together the right story for your product, right? Why would somebody care? That's the key. Why would somebody care about what you are selling? The only way they will care is when you tell the right story. You got to put the right story together, right? So a story, hook, offer, show, SHO. I call it, you got to show up for business, right? You got to show up for your business. So number two, remember 4C. Number two is communicate. Number three is confidence. You need confidence. A lot of people not making money online because they don't have confidence to sell. And make sure my hair look good. Okay. At least it look crazy right here. Okay. A lot of people don't have the right. Oh, I think I made it worse. I should have just left it alone. Okay. All right. Don't mind my hair, guys. I've been in the office all day, making sure you guys help get this good content. So don't mind it. All right. So confidence, right? You need confidence to sell. A lot of people are not good in selling because they don't have confidence, because they don't want rejection from people. They don't want to be talked about. They don't want to lose some friends, some relationships. They don't want people to talk bad about them. And they don't have that confidence to project what they sell. Everybody who is selling is somebody who has gotten better with confidence. You need confidence to sell. You need confidence to price your product. You need confidence to tell somebody, hey, you need what I got, right? It takes confidence to do that, right? Some people will never say that to somebody because they feel like they don't want to come across as arrogant, or they don't want to come across as being condescending or whatever, or they think they need to be humble. No, you need confidence to sell. You need confidence to show up every day and say, you need this, you should buy this, because this is what is going to help you unlock that thing that you desire, right? So confidence is very, very important. So I remember there's so many stories. Which one should I tell now? So I remember there was a time I never had the highest product I was selling was $10,000. Excuse me. That was the highest. That was the highest product I was selling. It was $10,000, right? And I didn't have the confidence to sell it for more than 10,000 because I didn't think anybody would pay me more than 10,000 to help them to achieve this goal. So I had a $10,000 coaching program, right? So, but then I didn't have the confidence to sell more than 10,000, even though I knew it was more valuable than $10,000, right? And then one day, I saw somebody that I'm kind of a little bit cool with, and she was selling a coaching program, which I know mine was better because I'm really that good at what I do, right? She was selling her own coaching program for $20,000. I was like, whoa! Or Dr. Anastasia, hello. I was like, hello. Come on now, you're selling your stuff for 20,000, and I know my stuff is a lot better. So what's the difference between me and her? She had confidence, and I didn't have the confidence to sell my product for what was really worth. I was selling it for 50% less than what it was worth, right? So when I saw that she had that confidence, right, I got inspired by her confidence, right? And I was like, hello, I got to raise my price. So I raised that price to 20,000, right? And some people also paid me $40,000, sorry, 25,000 too for the same program, right? Why? Because I had confidence to sell. You need confidence to sell. You need confidence to price, right? Just think about it. If you go to somebody and say, I got a solution to your problem, and they say, oh, are you sure? Or you go to somebody and they have a problem, and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I can really solve this problem for you. I'm not really sure. I'm going to think about it. Like you just playing around. They're going to look at you like you're not serious. They're not going to give you money. They're not going to put money on your pocket. They're not going to put money in your hand because you're just not coming across as confident in what you are selling. But now this other person come and like yeah, and they put their feet on the table and say, I got the sauce you need. I got the solution to your problem. I can help you take you from here to there. I can help you. And now the person gets the big contract, but you, because you don't have the confidence to really sell yourself, you're not having that money, right? So you need confidence to sell whatever it is that you need to sell. The fourth one is consistency. You got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. In fact, this is the worst one people do. People will show up on a Monday, take a break for 3 days, show up on a Friday, then take a break another 2 days, and show up on a Sunday. Excuse me. Right? So they take off like that, and then they'll be like, "How come nobody's buying my stuff?" Because you're not consistent. People don't want to buy from people who are not consistent. If you become consistent in what you're selling, people will buy from you. Because also to remember, people may not buy from you the first time. They might not buy from you the second time. They might not buy from you the 10th time. But you gotta be consistent. You gotta sell every day. Think about it. Don't McDonald's sell every day? Don't Starbucks, don't they market and sell every day? Have you ever seen McDonald's not run ads or market their business because somebody they're taking off? Have you ever seen Geico or all of these people take off Progressive? No. They market their business every single day. Coca-Cola is the most, well-drunk soda in the world. But yeah, people they still market every day. So if they can market every day, then why can't you market every day? You get what I'm saying? Why can't you market every day? Why can't you tell people how good your product is? Tell people how good your item is. Tell people how good your ebook, whatever it is you are offering, you or your coaching program, you got to market it every single day. You cannot take off. Let me tell you, here's this funny part. My millionaire friends, they work harder than my broke friends. Can I say that again? My very, very rich friends, they work harder than my friends who are broke. That don't make no sense, right? That the people who are rich, they are working harder than people who are broke. People who are broke want to go on vacation. They want to take time off. They want to not work too hard. They want to take it easy. They want to, go do this, do that, right? But yet, people who are really wealthy, right? They work harder than people who are not wealthy. So that don't make no sense. But also to that tells you and that shows you that that something is wrong, right? Because people who are wealthy, they are wealthy because they work harder than people who are not wealthy. They market their business harder, right? So if you want to really scale your business, you got to be ready to market every single day. But now too, there are several channels, right? When it comes to marketing, there are several channels to market. You could use Facebook, you could use Instagram, you could use TikTok, you could use Indie Hacker. There's so many ways to do that, right? Just like some of our speakers have already said, don't try to do it everywhere. You cannot market everywhere. You cannot market to everybody, right? Find the channel that works best for you. If it's Facebook, that is a primary channel, good. If it's Instagram, primary, good. If it's TikTok, primary, good. Find the one that works best for you and dominate it. Dominate it. Show up every day. Show up every single day. I don't care if it's 5 or 10 minutes, right? And don't just like show up and talk about everything else except your product. No, show up and talk about your product. But talk about your product in a different way so that it doesn't get boring to people watching it all the time. So talk about your product every time. Talk about it. Find different ways to let people know about what you do and the solution that you offer to entrepreneurs. Okay, all right. So these are the 4 C's of marketing. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to take your questions. Or if you have any questions or feedback, I'll be happy to do that. So remember, number 1, you need clarity. Number 2, you need to communicate. Number 3, you need confidence. And number 4, you need to be consistent, right? If you do that, you're going to always have success in your business. I think there's a question right here. Um, I enjoy working smarter, not harder. What would you say about that, Doc? That's a good question, right? It's always good to work smarter and not harder. But the truth is this: when you're just starting out, you're gonna have to work harder. Then as your business grows, then you work smarter. Let me say that again. They say when you start, you do what does not scale, right? That means you're selling every day. You're selling, you're working hard. But then when you start making money, you don't work as hard. And then maybe you can hire other people to work for you. There's another way to work smarter. So you work harder at the beginning, and as your business grows, you stop working harder. Then now you start working smarter. Okay. But when you're just starting out, you got to put in that work. Right. All right. What other questions you guys have? Our next speaker should be here shortly. Let me see if she's ready. Uh, let me see if she's ready. Put your comment on now. Put your comment. Put your question. I want to answer your questions. Okay. All right, so waiting for our next speaker. All right, so what other questions do you have now? What other questions can I help you with? What can I help you with? Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. When you first starting out in your business, you got to put in that work. You got to put in that work. You got to, make that noise. You got to market that business. You got to let people know about you, know about what you do. Then later on, you can kind of chill a little bit. Okay, that's how it works. All right, what other questions you guys have about marketing? And are you guys working hard on marketing your business? Can you guys still see me? Am I frozen? I hope I'm not frozen. Can you guys see me? Okay, so it's a question. How many hours? I think I'm frozen on Facebook. How many hours per day do you spend on sales? Now, it really depends, though, right? It really depends. Sometimes it's not like just hours at a time, it's just hours broken down throughout the day, right? But I would say, starting out, if anybody can dedicate 1 hour towards sales every day, I think they will be successful in their business. Okay. So I would say minimum of 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. You can take off 2 days of the week, 2 days out of the week, right? But take for work 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. When you do that, I think you'll be even more successful in your business. Okay, somebody said I'm not frozen. Okay, but I'm not seeing me on Facebook. I don't know. It looks like I'm frozen, but it seems like, but maybe I'm not frozen. All right. So what other questions you guys have? We got 2 more minutes before our next speaker comes. 1 hour per day, 5 days a week, market and sell. Yeah. That's how you do it now. And there are different strategies of marketing. Sometimes if you take an hour a day reaching out to people personally, that could potentially be your customers, right? Just 1 hour a day, you're going to get at least 10 customers a week. If you just take 1 hour a day reaching out to people personally who could potentially be your customers, you will get 10,000. Sorry, you will get 10 new customers each week. And if you do that 4 weeks, you're going to get 40 new customers a month. And if you do that for a year, 40 times 12 is what? That's over, almost probably, I don't know the math. 40 times 12, I know 40 times 10 is 400, right? That's about 480. You're going to get almost 500 new customers a year. With 500 customers a year, you're going to be making at least minimum 6 figures. Minimum 6 figures, right? So that is the math of marketing. So I'm waiting on our speakers. Let me see. Let me know what questions you have. Yeah, I'm waiting on our speaker to join us shortly. Someone said we need we need Isaac for the math. Yeah. You're right. He's a math genius. Yeah, I think it's 480. I think so for the year. So you guys see how it is to break to launch your to launch your business, right? And to market it. So don't be scared of marketing. Don't be worried about marketing, right? Marketing is easy. It's some work though, right? But you just gotta be consistent now. You can't give up. You can't slack now. When it comes to marketing your business, you gotta keep putting in that work so that your business can become more and more successful. Okay. All right, so let's check now. Let's see what other questions you guys might have. Let me know. Ask those questions. I'm here to help you with your business. I'm here to help you to grow your business. And let me see you guys. How many of you are using Vonza? You're not using Vonza yet. You need to get on Vonza now. And also to let me remind you guys before our next speaker comes, she's getting ready to come in a few. Please get the replay, guys. Click on that link. That's one way you can also support this meeting as well. Get a replay. Okay, get a replay for this summit. Get all the recordings by tomorrow. They all gonna be gone. They are gonna be gone. Uh-oh. Let me see. What's your email? All right, so let me send the right link to our speaker so she can come. All right, then in the meantime, I'll get the replay link. Let me see what question. Yeah, someone say, can Vonza animation speak words for me so I can mark it that way? Um, I don't think you should. Oh, she made a mistake in her own. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's fix some technical issue for our speaker. I don't think that. I don't think you should rely on animation to help you market. Because if you're thinking that you need animation to help you market, you're probably marketing the wrong way. You're probably thinking about it the wrong way. Okay. You don't need animation or anything to help you market. You need to just, show up and just market your stuff. Market it, right? So you don't need animation or any funky stuff to help you to market your stuff, okay? So just market it. Just market it. Just show up every day. Because guys, if you're thinking about shortcut, you're not ready because you're not gonna make money like that. You gotta put in the work. You got to put in the work. There's no shortcut, okay? All right, good question, though. Good question. Good question. Forces of marketing. Forces of marketing. Forces of marketing. All right, what other questions you guys have? How many of you, now let me know what kind of, how many of you, what kind of digital pro do you have? Let me hear from you now. What kind of digital pro do you have? Do you have an ebook, an online course, a membership, a coaching program, or all of the above? What kind of ebook, what kind of digital pro do you have? All right, our speaker is here. All right, so I'll give you guys 30 seconds to answer now. What kind of digital pro do you have? So our next speaker is here. You guys need to go ahead and share this video one more time. We have the amazing Kawana. She's a tax and accounting. She's going to be talking about tax and accounting tips for entrepreneur. She's been practicing accounting for over a decade. During her time in the field, she has helped multiple 6, 7, 8, and 9-figure earners substantially reduce their tax liabilities by implementing tax strategies of the wealthy and affluent. So, in a count of 1 all the way from 5, I'm going to bring in Kawana, and I'm really excited because she has so much she's going to share with us. Remember, like I told you earlier, it's not only about making the money, it's about how to keep the money. It's about how to not go to jail making the money. It's how to not get into IRS problem making the money, okay? So I'm going to bring her up now, and she's going to bring some good content. And I want you all to get ready because this is going to be so, so good, okay? So share this video one more time. I wanted today to also really talk about accounting and taxes, how the rich make money, how they keep money, all this stuff that a lot of people don't know. So let's get ready. So 3, 2, 1. Hey, Kawana, good to see you.
Hi, how are you?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for coming. People are excited. They want to hear from you. We're broadcasting on multiple platforms today. We're on Facebook Live, on 2 groups. We're also on YouTube. We're also streaming to a private platform as well. So we have hundreds of people that's going to be watching live and also to the replay as well. So really excited that you are on today to talk to us about tax and accounting tips for entrepreneurs. So before we do that, so I just want to talk to you a little bit about your background. So tell us little bit about your background and how you got into accounting.
Well, I've been practicing accounting, like I said, for well over a decade. I got my undergraduate degree from my home state, Louisiana State University. Then I got my MBA from Texas A&M. But I got into accounting because I actually love math and I love helping people. So those two things together actually is the reason why I decided to get into accounting. So I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. I've worked for Fortune 100 companies. I've owned my own business since 2013. So I've been helping people for a very long time.
Wow, that is amazing. All right, I know you loaded, you got so much to share. So I'm going to be out of your way, give you about 25 minutes, and I'll be back for some Q&A, okay?
Okay. Sounds good. So, hello everyone. I am so excited to talk to you today because there are some hot topics that I really want to discuss. And the reason why I call these hot topics is because these are the topics that I discuss with clients each and every day. The first thing I want to talk about is the setup and the bookkeeping, because bookkeeping and structuring your business properly is of the utmost importance. You have to have a solid foundation. If you don't have a solid foundation, that's when you run into issues. So I know there probably have been people that have been talking about the structure of your business. You want to make sure that your business is structured properly for the type of business that you're running. There's no one size fit all business structure. You know, most people go with the LLC, and then it's popular to have a S corporation. But there are so many instances where an S corporation may not be the best option for your business or for you, for what you have, for what your plans are. Sometimes it's best to have a C corporation. And the reason why is because the C corporation tax rate is only 21%. Now, the highest individual tax rate is 37%. So when I talk to people, I find out how much revenue they're generating, number one, and what are their plans, what are their long-term goals, at least 2, 3, 5-year goals. Because number one, you can have your LLC set up as your main operating entity, but then you may need what's called a management company, and that could be set up as what's called a C corporation with the lower tax rate. Say, for instance, if your business is generating over $1 million. So if you're generating over $1 million, once you hit that $500,000-$600,000 mark, guess what? You've maxed out. You're already paying 37%. But even if you make $10 million in your business, your tax rate is still 21% if you have that C corporation. So that's why I tell people, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your goals. Sometimes you hear people say, yeah, let's do a S corporation. A S corporation is good because that allows you to be put on salary. Because if you're just a single member LLC or a partnership in an LLC, a partner in a LLC was taxed as a partnership. You can't take a salary. You can't take a W-2. you have to get a K1, right? The only way that you're able to get a salary as a partnership is what's called a guaranteed payment. And that's just straight pay. So it's not even, taxes aren't even deducted. So it is imperative, I'm talking about imperative, that you actually sit down with a professional and talk to them at the beginning so you can find out whether or not an LLC, a partnership, a S corporation, a C corporation, maybe a nonprofit or a trust, or a combination of all of those things is best for you and your business, right? Another thing that I want to talk about is, it kind of goes in line with what I just started talking about, is bookkeeping. Whenever you have these different types of entities, you want to make sure that you have a good system of record keeping. Record keeping is important, is of the utmost importance, because number one, if you're ever audited by the IRS, the first thing that they're going to ask you for is your general ledger. Your general ledger is a ledger of all your expenses and your revenue. So even if you say, well, I don't have any bookkeeping in place, I can just use my bank statements. That's what a lot of people tell me on a daily basis. I don't have bookkeeping in place, but I do have my bank statements, right? So they'll give me their bank statements at the end of the year, and it takes more time to go through those bank statements. And then also, what I find out is that they may have other accounts that they have expenses, that have run through different accounts. Number one, they could have a credit card. They may be using their personal credit cards. They may have business credit cards. If you use your personal credit card for a business expense, which you really don't want to do, you still can record that expense as a business expense, but it has to be documented and you have to have your receipt. So hold on just one moment. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So you must have a good record keeping system. So I tell my clients, let's do QuickBooks. QuickBooks is simple, easy to get started. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that your chart of accounts is correct. And what I mean by chart of accounts, so for instance, you may have loans, and the loans actually, I would say, or going to different banks. So you want to make sure that the loans are being recorded and the interest that's related to those loans are being recorded, because the principal payment is not tax deductible, but the interest is tax deductible. So it's just so many different um, reasons why bookkeeping is so important. So the next thing I want to talk about is tax planning. Tax planning is coming up with a strategy for your particular business. And I've already touched on that a bit. A lot of people talk about, let's hire your kids. Yes, you can hire your kids in your business. But you want to make sure that that tax plan is specific to you. People may say, yeah, you can buy a G-Wagon, Range Rover, write that off, but you may not need to write it off in year one. You may need to save some of those expenses for year two. So you may write that Range Rover G-Wagon off over 5 years. So like I said, there's not a one size fit all for everybody. Um, Another thing that I want to talk about is tax relief. A lot of people, whenever they start a business, because they don't have their records in place, because they haven't set their business up properly, they don't have any bookkeeping, or they just forgot about taxes altogether, and they just may have not filed their taxes for year one, year two, and then it drags on to year three, and then sometimes it drags on for year four. Whenever it drags on like that, and you have 1099s from customers or clients going to the IRS is going to do what's called a substitute tax return. And that substitute tax return is going to be taxed at the highest rate and is not going to consider any tax deductions. So, whenever you receive a letter from the IRS, you want to make sure that you open that letter. You want to make sure that you present it to a professional so that they can take a look at it. You want to make sure that you get your taxes filed as soon as possible, because interest and penalties can accrue, and those interest and penalties can be substantial. You can even get a fraud penalty for not filing up to 75% of what's actually due. And that can almost double what you actually have owed over the years. So I just want to make sure that if you are a business owner and you are just starting out, please, please, please schedule a consultation with an accountant, a CPA, or a financial planner so that you can put plans in place so that you won't run into these issues. Because I tell you, once you have these problems, it is harder to fix afterwards than it is while you are going through the issue. So please, please, please do that. You'll be doing yourself a favor, a huge favor. Um, so back to the beginning of the hot topics, you know, make sure you set up bookkeeping QuickBooks. You have zero out there. You can do it yourself. You can have someone set it up for you and look at it on a quarterly basis. Or if you have a huge payroll and a lot of revenue, a lot of expenses each month, you may want to start out with an accountant, setting up your chart of accounts, making sure that everything is being recorded and all the different accounts are connected to your bookkeeping software, your record keeping software. Like I said, because you may have personal credit cards, you may have business credit cards, you may have an American Express business credit card that you charge different things on, your meals, your flights, things like that. So you want to make sure that all of that is recorded. If you are in real estate, and this is what I see a lot, people are buying properties and flipping those properties. Do you know that if you keep that property for over 12 months, you'll get a better tax rate than if you were to buy it, fix it up, and then flip it in under 12 months? If you are a high income earner and you flip that property in under 12 months, you're going to be taxed at the higher rate of 37%. But if you keep that property over 12 months, you'll get what's called a capital gains, and you can be taxed either at 10, 5, or 20%, 10, 15, or 20%. So it's best to keep it over 12 months so that you can get preferential tax treatment. But then again, there is always an option for you to put that real estate into a trust and defer the taxes until the beneficiary takes a distribution. So that's another topic. But make sure that you are, talking with somebody at the beginning, um, because there's so much. The tax code is so extensive. Um, you may not even know that there are tax deductions that you qualify for, because most people only talk about the basics: child tax credit, earned income tax credit, paying your kids in your business, those basics. And then if you are a business owner, you want to make sure that you have some type of retirement plan set up. Just if you're working on a job, you can have a 401k. Even if you own a business, you can have what's called a solo 401k. And guess what? You can contribute, plus your business can contribute on your behalf. So you'll get double the deduction credit. Um, if you don't want to set up a solo 401k, you can set up what's called a SEP IRA. That's SEP IRA. There's Roth IRAs, there's traditional IRAs. So it really just depends on your individual situation. Like I said, there's no one size fit all that works for every single person. So it's best that you have a plan. Before I go to the Q&A, I want to talk a little bit more about what is tax relief. Um, a lot of people get into situations where they receive letters from the IRS and they just ignore them. Please do not ignore these letters, because they're not going to just go away. You're going to continue to accrue interest and penalties, and you want to make sure that you take care of these things as early as possible. Because I've seen people that have owed $100,000 and it has doubled to 200,000, or have owed $1,000,000 and it's doubled to almost $2,000,000. And you want to make sure that you're keeping, records, because if you don't have records, you don't have any type of substantiation. So the IRS can penalize you the hardest if you don't have records, if you don't have your invoices, paid invoices, if you don't have your receipts, if you don't have a bookkeeping system set up. That's when you're putting yourself out there to be scrutinized the heaviest by the IRS. So set your business up properly in the beginning. Make sure that you are, talking to a professional. Make sure that you have a good record keeping system. Make sure you talk with someone to do a tax plan at the beginning of each year. Because with the tax plan, there's also the business budget. You want to make sure that you're not overspending. You're not just um, robbing Peter to pay Paul, things like that. So you want to know how much money your business is generating, what your monthly expenses are. If you're overpaying, you may have a business where you see money in the bank, but at the end of the day, all that money is really owed out. It's just a float. So make sure that you have good record keeping. Make sure that at least if you don't have a CPA or an accountant on your team, make sure that you just either have a bookkeeper, somebody to monitor um, your business revenues and your business expenses. Um, and then for payroll, make sure that you're keeping a record of how much you're paying people that are on your team. You want to either pay them as an independent contractor or W-2 employee based on what they actually do. And there is a number of things that, like a control test, that you have to um, answer different questions to find out whether or not um, the person that's working for you is actually an independent contractor or if they qualify as a W-2 employee. With the W-2 employee, there comes other taxes such as unemployment insurance, your FICA taxes, your Social Security, your Medicare, different things like that. Just if you were working on a job or they were working on a job. So we just want to make sure that we have things in place so that we're operating our businesses properly, so that we won't run into any issues with the government, with the IRS, that can potentially put us out of business. So that is really the basis of my presentation. And I really want to open it up for Q&A because I've talked about some different topics. Like I said, there's no one size fit all. So if you have any specific questions, I'm here to answer those.
Wow, thank you, Kuwana. That was amazing. Oh my God.
Thank
Wow, the questions are coming up already. Somebody's asking what are FICO taxes?
FICA taxes. So FICA taxes is actually FICA. So FICA taxes are your Medicare and your Social Security taxes that are withheld under the U.S. tax code. Um, Whenever those taxes are actually for Medicare and um, Social Security. So whenever you get of age 65, 75, whenever you retire, if there's still money, left, you'll get what's called a Social Security check once you reach that age. So you're basically paying into Social Security and paying for your medical in advance, basically. So that's Medicare.
Wow, that's interesting. See, now a lot of people want to be business owners. They want to build a six-figure, seven-figure business. But what they don't know, because a lot of these influencers don't talk about it, is all the parts of this thing, your money, self-employment tax planning, retirement. Are you hiring an employee or a contractor? What kind of
Correct.
operations you need to start and why? So there are a lot of moving parts to
A
be an
lot.
entrepreneur. But if you just listen to all these people that just want to make you feel like it's just about getting an LLC and you're
Mhm.
good for life, you're gonna miss it. There's a lot of moving parts,
A
right?
lot.
So that if
Yes.
you're an entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you have everything needed. I got like 5 questions for you. But if
Okay.
you have questions, put down the screen as well. When is the right time for somebody to start talking to a CPA or a bookkeeper?
Mhm.
Before they start their business or when their business start generating certain amount of money?
Um, Before I would have a startup consultation. That's what I highly recommend, just to find out what are the requirements so
Mhm.
that you can be in compliance. Just like with any business, you want to make sure that you file the right paperwork, because you don't want to start the business, start generating revenue, and you don't have the right paperwork filed. You may not even have your business license. Every city, state, municipality has different requirements. So you want to make sure that you have your business license if that's required in your county, your parish, or state. You want to make sure that, if you're going to operate as an LLC, make sure that that is filed. What I run across is people, they have LLCs, but some states require you to renew that LLC every year. And if you don't, somebody can look on the Secretary of State, and guess what? Your business has been involuntarily deactivated because you hadn't renewed your annual filing.
Mm.
So that is something that's very important. So I highly recommend that you have a pre-startup consultation with a professional.
Awesome. Okay, another question is thinking about the expenses for keeping the property for 12 months instead of flipping it over right away. So, what was your thought on that?
So, yes, and I was talking about real estate because there are preferential tax rates if it's considered a capital gain. So, a capital gain, you can get taxed at 0, 15, or 20%. So, you want to make sure that if you keep the property over 12 months, depending on what your overall net income is, you can either get capital gains at 0, 15, or 20%. So you want to make sure that you're keeping a record of how long you've actually owned that property. And then another thing that people don't look at is, I'm just going to give you an example using just rough numbers. For instance, if you bought a property for 100,000, no, I'm going to go a lower number. If you bought a tax sale property for $10,000, right? And you put in $60,000 to renovate it. So if you started with 10, put in 60, that's $70,000. If you sell that property for $100,000, you get to your capital gains is $30,000 because you started with 10, put in 60, so you pay taxes on 30, right? But if you go in and you're not recording your expenses properly and you're writing them off as an expense throughout the year, whenever you sell that property, your basis then will be the $10,000 that you paid for, and you'll pay taxes on 90%. I mean 90,000 instead of that 30,000. So you want to make sure that you have accurate records so that you won't get overtaxed, and you'll get the preferential tax rate for capital gains.
That is so amazing. I got like three more questions. Okay.
Mhm.
So, somebody's asking a question about Vonza. Let me answer you right now. I'm not ignoring you. Any plan for Indian currency for Vonza platform? Yes. We're hearing so much you guys want our international customers, you want us to be able to offer payments outside of USD. Yes, we are working on that. That'll be Q1 or Q2 of 2022. All right. So now let's go to the next question, right? I asked a CPA earlier and he wasn't quite sure. Maybe, and I know this is not an easy answer, right? From your years of doing being an accountant, right? When does it normally cross if somebody maybe tax evasion, right? Maybe they're not paying enough taxes, or they're not reporting enough taxes, or they are overstating their expenses, right? Could be tax evasion, right? When does it normally cross, but from civil to criminal? Is there a line? Because some people they evade taxes and they get a letter and say, hey, you gotta pay back. Some other people do the same thing and they go to jail. What's up with that? What's the determinant? You know?
So it's really depending on the revenue agent that you receive. Some of them will give you some grace,
Oh,
some
I
of them
see.
may not. So it's just like a judge in a court. It depends on who you receive, because I've seen people that have not filed for over 10 years. Whenever they get ready to file, if they get a good revenue agent or a revenue agent that's not going to dig too far back, they can just file those taxes and pay what's owed.
Penalty.
And
Mhm.
then I've seen some that have filed in 2 years, owed like 1.2 million, and they put what's called a fraud penalty on them because they didn't report some income. So I've seen where, like, I think it was like $200,000 that wasn't reported,
Mhm.
and a client got what's called a fraud penalty of 75%. And with that fraud penalty, there's a possibility that they could have went to jail because they consider that tax evasion. So it really, there's no, like I said, no one size fit all. It depends on what revenue agent you get, what tax agent you get, and how extensive of a investigation they do.
Wow, wow. Okay, so now because I've been thinking about that. I'm like, okay, it's not. It seems like it's not a one clear cut, measure for every situation, everybody, right?
Mm. Because the manager actually has a little discretion. So it just really depends on your situation. Um, Even just like Chris Tucker, they're saying that Chris Tucker owes what $9 million now, and it's
Mhm,
been going all the way back since 2004.
mhm.
Well, there's also a statute of limitations on tax due. But if you start a installment agreement or payment plan, you basically start those years over. So it really just depends on what you've been doing in the past, who your revenue agent is, and whether or not you even started a payment plan. Because like he had a payment plan, he started making big chunks of payments. So now his statute of limitation doesn't apply. So his tax bill still goes all the way back to 2004, and he still owes millions. So that's where he's running into the issues with. So it really just depends.
So, what are some really, of course, as much as you can share publicly, what are some smart ways to reduce tax liabilities? Let's say somebody is going to net profits or net income of $100,000.
Mhm.
They only got 21 days to figure out what to do. What are some, of course, everybody's case is different.
Everybody's case is different.
And as much as you can share publicly, what are
Mhm.
some smart ways to reduce that tax liability that could hit them at up to 15% or more?
Well, I don't mind sharing anything publicly because everything that I do, is really, part of the tax code. So you just got to know how to use the tax code to your advantage. So number one, you would, if you don't have some type of retirement plan set up, like I said, a SEP IRA, maybe you have until December 31st to get your solo 401k set up and funded. Also, this is one of the things that I tell people, and I try to get a lot of my high net worth clients to do this, especially if they're business owners. Set up what's called a nonprofit or a charitable trust, because in 2021 you can contribute up to 100% of your net income to your nonprofit, and with the nonprofit you still can control the money.
That was cold. I don't
So
think anybody caught that. That was cold blooded right there.
yeah. So you still have to have a mission for your nonprofit. So
Yeah.
your nonprofit's mission may be to, like I have a nonprofit. My mission for my nonprofit is to provide educational, entrepreneurial resources to new business owners, right? So if I were to contribute funds to that nonprofit, I can contribute that money tax free and still control how that money is being
Yes.
dispersed.
Yeah.
Because number one, I'm the president. We have a board members, a vice president, secretary, treasurer. So if the nonprofit actually needs a vehicle to carry out its mission, the nonprofit can purchase that vehicle through tax-free money.
Wow. So, okay, what about what about with nonprofit is 501c3? Does it
Oh,
matter? Is
yeah.
it clear? Is the same?
Yeah. A 501. So every year the 501c3 still has to file what's called a 990. If the contributions have been under 50,000, it's a 990 in. It's really just like a little postcard. So just make sure that you are filing that 990 every year, because the IRS can revoke your tax exemption if you don't file that 990 within 3 years.
Okay, I think I heard that, but if it's a church is
Mhm,
not required.
mhm. The church is
So,
not. No, no. So
but if it's
there's
just
a
a
there are different rules.
501c3,
Yeah,
uh-huh. Okay. In non maybe just a 501c3 ministry
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
they need us to do that. Wow, well, what are the tax tips and tricks you can share, maybe in the side of say reducing tax liability, or you know, or to help to build wealth in terms of tax strategies for
Mhm.
wealth? What are the tips can you share quickly?
Setting up a trust, setting up a spendthrift trust,
Do,
because
do, you, do you do that? Do you do that personally, or do you
so
assist?
so I have a group that I refer the trust out to. So what I do with the trust is I do the bookkeeping, the payroll, and the trust tax returns. But there's a team that I work with that actually, of attorneys and everything, that they actually set up that trust, because you want to make sure that you have everything. You have to have a settler, you have to have a trustee, and then you have to set up your beneficiary. So I work with that team to make sure that the clients are conveying those assets over to the trust, because even if you have assets right now, you still can, convey those assets and put those into the trust. So yeah, having setting up a spendthrift trust, that's gonna be a good way to kind of defer taxes.
Wow,
Mhm.
this is amazing, guys. We only have for another 2 to 3 minutes, so let me know on the chat if you have any questions. And I know that sometimes too, when people are just kind of beginning in their journey to entrepreneurship, certain things they feel like it's just not for them yet, because they're like, I'm trying to make 50K, and you're talking about trust and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, but
So
go ahead.
if you have the resources, the sooner the better you set these things up. But you don't necessarily have to set up a trust, in the beginning. When your business starts generating an excessive amount of revenue, I would say over that $500,000 million mark, that's when you especially need a tax plan, and you really need one before then. Once you hit that $100,000 mark, you need a tax plan. So you need to sit down with someone that is knowledgeable of the tax rules, create you a tax plan, so that maybe you want to contribute this money to a SEP IRA, or you may want to contribute to a solo 401k. You may want to hire your kids. You may want to buy, if you have a retail store or e-commerce store, you may want to purchase a lot of inventory at the end of the year, because if you have the money sitting in your bank or it's net profit, you're going to owe taxes on it. So buy the inventory at the end of the year so that you can reduce your taxes, instead of waiting to January to buy that inventory. Or like one of my clients from last year, she was going to buy a car in January, buy it in December. It's going
Right
to,
now.
yeah. So it's so many different things. But like I said, I have to know your goals, what your plans are for you and your family and your business. And then I can create a customized tax plan specifically for you.
Wow, this is amazing. So, how can people reach you? If somebody's like, wow, this is amazing, maybe they need you for taxes, for
Mhm.
bookkeeping or accounting or some strategy or consulting, how can they reach you? What's the best way to reach you?
So the best way to reach me is on my website is www.infinitytaxandaccounting.com. Everything is spelled out. So Infinity Tax and Accounting. My IG is the letter K, the accountant underscore. So KTHE accountant underscore. Yeah, that is my website.
Good.
So at the top of my website on the right hand side, you can click the link to book an appointment, and it goes to my calendar. And there's a list of different types of appointments that you can choose. So those are the best ways to reach me.
Okay, so what's the your IG again for people that
The
yeah.
letter K,
Mm-hmm.
the
When you
account.
say
So
D, letter D.
no, the THE.
Okay,
So
KTHE. Uh-huh.
accountant. So K the accountant underscore.
Okay, it's K the accountant underscore.
Hmm.
Okay, so you guys follow her on Instagram. Go to our website, infinitytaxandaccounting.com. Book a session, man. This woman is knowledgeable. She is amazing. This is just the tip of the iceberg. What she just gave out today. There's a lot more coming. So I
Absolutely.
want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you
Thank
taking
you
your
for
time.
having me. Thank you. It
And
was a pleasure.
yeah, and sharing this great knowledge. I hope you had as much fun as we did having you. And I'll be talking with you offline.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye. Wow, that was amazing. My God, what information to share, guys, this is the time to start thinking about your tax planning and all of all that stuff, man. Because people talk about entrepreneurship, they talk about like you just say open or get an LLC and da da da, which is good to start, right? But when you start really going into it, you're gonna see that there's a lot of other parts to it. So this is amazing. So we got one more speaker left for today, Lamar Tyler. So let me bring him on, and I'll be back later. So remember, I want you guys to order for the replays. By tonight, all of these sessions are going to be gone, and I want you to have lifetime access to these replays, okay? So go to bit.ly/Vonza Level Up, bit.ly/Vonza Level Up, bit.ly/Vonza Level Up to get the replays, okay? So I'm going to be bringing him up shortly. Let me see if I can find him. So tell me, give me some feedback. Anybody like what they're hearing so far? You got something from tonight's session? You were like, wow, that was good or something, right? Yeah. Really excited about this. Let's get this. All right, so I'm going to be bringing in the next speaker shortly. Give me a second. Let's find him. In the comment, let me know about your view. Okay, let me see. Trying this for the first time. Let's see how this works. Okay. Hey everybody, I'm excited to have the man, the myth, the legend, the living legend, the man who have done a lot of good stuff for entrepreneurs, especially African American entrepreneurs. And we're so excited to have Lamar Tyler today. Hey Lamar, how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me on the summit.
Awesome. So the Virtual Summit, the goal is to help entrepreneurs to create and build a successful digital products, right? And as we're about to get into the 2022, so I want to bring like dope speakers like you to share some wealth of knowledge to help entrepreneurs, to give them some tools, some strategies to help them to build successful and digital products business. But before we go there, can you share a little bit about you, your background, and you're the founder of TSP, Traffic Sales Profit Group, and a bunch of other things. So kind of tell us a little bit more about what you do and who you are and your background.
Sure, no problem. So again, Lamar Tyler, creator and founder of Traffic Sales and Profit. We help entrepreneurs do three things: drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow more profit in their business. And we actually started in a different business. My wife and I, who's my business partner, Ronnie, we started 14 years ago with a small blog called blackandmarriedwithkids.com, where we wanted to promote positive images of marriage in the Black community. Yeah. And in starting that, we learned how to grow audience. We learned how to grow community. We started selling. First, we were selling advertising, but then we realized that the more we did to get the advertisers and we turned towards them, the more we turned our back on our customers. Because we were following the money, chasing the money, and the money came from the advertisers. So if the advertisers want to see more of this content, we make more of that. The advertisers want us to talk about this, we talked about that, but it wasn't really serving our people. So when we got focused on the customers, and then we started creating our own products, documentary films, ebooks, audio books, online courses, events, right? When we started doing all of this, it changed everything. And then eventually that morphed into people asking us, hey, how did you build what you built, right? It was very public. We had a very large audience with that. We had over 500,000 people on Facebook. We had about 1 million organic visitors every quarter that would come to the site and read. And we had a lot of press. So people saw us growing into a real business, and they said, hey, teach us how to do what you did. And that's why we launched Traffic Sales and Profit back in 2015.
Wow, that's so amazing. So prior to that, what was your journey into entrepreneurship? Were you always an entrepreneur? Were you born an entrepreneur, or did you stumble on it? How did you become a successful digital entrepreneur today?
Always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was one of those people when I was young, trying different things, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I didn't see people right around me. I didn't have somebody telling me, hey, do this and don't do that. So it took longer than I would have liked for me to hit success, and success being real money, real revenue with it. But it was something I always wanted. But the importance of that, of having someone you can look to in front of you, the importance of me tapping information like this. Because when I was coming up, there were no virtual summits, sponsored by Vonza. I wish, you about, I'm old, right? So you about, you would have been around 25, 30 years ahead of us, right? We needed Vonza back then so I could listen to the summit, but I didn't have any of that. But what I had was magazines like Black Enterprise. Yeah. And I could look in Black Enterprise and see, okay, there are entrepreneurs that are millionaires, multimillionaires, right? That have these companies. And one day I want to be in these pages. One day I want to be like them. So it really was something I knew from a young age, but it took a while trying to figure out and put the pieces together on how to actually make it happen.
That is so awesome, awesome, awesome. And you've been really successful at it. So how much would you say mentorship and coaching have helped to get you to where you are today? Were you just like more of a self-learner through books and stuff? Or would you say you've had some impact through like mentorship and coaching to kind of get you to where you are today?
Now I've done it all. In the beginning, I did not. Now I've always been a reader. And like I said, I didn't have like someone right around me to touch and see. So a lot of, in the early days of what I learned came through books and reading, and a lot of it still does. But this is a great question because what I didn't know was that there was a shortcut. And the shortcut to business and success was literally getting around people that already had the answers, getting around communities of people that are headed in the same direction as you, people smarter than you, like people, that are on the same journey. So I always say that in the first, 7 figures, the first $1 million we make gross in our first Black and Married with Kids brand, not even in a year, but just like total over the span of a couple of years, we probably took twice as long as we should have because we tried to figure out everything on our own. And it was like every single step, this isn't working. What should we do? Yeah. How do we, we got a website, then the website need to be better. Then we figure out, the website doesn't convert. So we got to figure out and learn how to get a website. It just was so much stuff we were trying to learn on our own. The process just took extra years when it shouldn't have. So if somebody's watching this, oh my, that question, that probably was the best question, and we just get started. Like literally, right? What they should be doing is looking for a community, a people, a tribe, so they can get connected and get answers and get the shortcut.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, you said it took you. How long did it take you to make your first $1 million gross?
In our Black and Married with Kids brand, it took 7 years. It probably should have been a 3-year process.
Okay, so
it should have been a 3-year process. And when I say that, right, I like our journey is like a lot of entrepreneurs, where the first year we really ain't make nothing. The next year, I think we made like the first 1-2 years we might have made like 70 grand or so, right? Then we made then we doubled it and went from like 70 to 150, then 150 to 3 something to 5. Like we started doubling every year. But literally, if somebody could have just came and told us, we had all the people. Somebody just came and told us, hey, don't do that, do this, do that, and do that. We would have been right there.
Wow, that's so amazing. I think this is a really big lesson too for entrepreneurs as well, right? It took you like 7 years to gross together, right? $1 million. Yep. But now you probably can do $1 million a year, right?
Exactly.
But it took you 7 years, right? So that's also something very important for an entrepreneur listening right now. That you might see Lamar Tyler getting an award for $10 million, have this wonderful office in Atlanta, which by the way, I'm coming to visit because I see the videos. It's really dope, having this dope background as well, which I really love, and somebody like, I want to be like Lamar Tyler, right? But you didn't become who you are in one day. It took time, it took process, right? But nowadays entrepreneurs want to just get successful so quick because a lot of entrepreneurs on social media flashing all this shiny stuff, right? So before you go into your topic, can you talk about that? Because sometimes I feel like entrepreneurs give up too quickly because they're not making sales fast enough or something is not clicking, right? But you did not make $1 million your first year.
Nope.
Or your first 2 years. It took time. So speak to that.
Yeah, this is a great question. Because that's it. We do 2 conferences a year here in Atlanta, right? In our January conference, we already sold it out a couple months in advance. We got 700 seats taken. And people say, well, Lamar, how did you grow an event with 700 people? I said, we got to 700 people because our very first event, we wanted 200, but only 47 showed up.
Wow.
And half of those people had free tickets. So the only way we get from 47 to 700 is because we don't quit. We didn't give up, right? We got to 47 and then we said, all right, we're going to do 50 6 months from now. And then the 50 event sold out. Then we did another event 6 months from then and we had 172. We went from 172 people to 250 to 300. Then we had to get a bigger place. We went to 500. But literally consistency and grit, like that's what we don't talk about on social media. The fact that a lot of times when you launch, the launches do not meet your expectations.
Yeah.
But you don't give up. What you do is you brush yourself off and you say, hey, you know what? I'm going at it harder next time. I'm a double down on the things that work and I'm gonna throw away the things that didn't. And I'm gonna keep trying. And I'm gonna get the information, the knowledge, the resources, the people that I need. So I mean, that's so important. You know, I tell my community all the time, if it takes you 5 years to build $1 million per year business, it's still sweet after 5 years. Wow. It's still be sweet after, like literally, it's less than 10% of all companies in the United States reach $1 million a year. So even the process took longer than I would have liked.
Hold on, bro. You gotta say that again, because a lot of people feel like they gotta make $1 million that first year in entrepreneurship, or they are a failure. You just said something so powerful. What was the statistic you said? It's less than
10%. Less than 10% of businesses in the United States make over $1 million a year.
That needs to be in a banner somewhere. That needs to be.
It does, right? And then if we dig deeper, because our company and brand, right, we focus specifically on African American companies. In the African American community, most companies are solopreneurships. Yeah. Most companies do not have employees and teams, right? Most companies is just one person that's basically left one job, and a lot of times have traded that first job in for a new job, except the new job a lot of times doesn't pay him as much money. The new job doesn't have as good of benefits, right? The new job like has all these other things. So what we're trying to do is get perspective on both. That, hey, we need you to be more than a solopreneur. We need you to build an enterprise. We need you to have teams and employees and provide resources so that you can not only build yourself and your family, but build a community. And at the same time, knowing that it's going to be some things that don't go right, but you're going to have to push through. It's going to be some things you're going to have to persevere through. It's going to be sometimes when the launch is not what you expected, but you're going to stick with it, and you can get to a 6, a 7-figure, 8-figure business. It's all possible. But if it doesn't, now sometimes it's possible that thing could happen in months. It can happen in 1 year. Yeah. But if it doesn't, that doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. That means that you keep pushing, you keep trying until you get to the destination.
Wow, this is so deep. Okay, before you go into your topic, I got one more question because you are just opening up the vault of.
We don't need a topic. This is a good
right? You know, you did something very, very. How long have you had your group on Facebook, TSP group?
We've had it since about 2015, 2016.
Okay, so you are one of the OGs of really building a community. Now, you know, I'm in SaaS also too, founding Vonza now. One of the new wave now is that the school of thought is that, hey, before you build a SaaS product, right, first try to build a community first, right? So now there's this buzz now about building a community, you know, but you've been doing this like 6 years back. So you're like one of the real OGs in building communities, right? So why did you decide to build a community as way back as 6 years ago?
So with us, community is everything. And I learned that, like I said, even with our previous brand, Black and Married with Kids, we launched 14 years ago. Like everything was around community. So the community at that point happened on our actual blog and on our website. Then it went to a Facebook page because that was kind of before, you know, Facebook really greenlit the groups and pushed everybody in the groups. So the community then was on our Facebook page. But what I found is that it's a lot easier to cultivate community, to pour into them, to give value to people every single day. So then when you ask, they already know, like, and trust you. Then when you ask, you've already built, you know, sweat equity and trust with those people. So they already know that you're the truth. They're not trying to figure out if it's a game, am I being scammed? They already know everything you're about. And then you poured so much into them just on a regular basis that they're ready to take the next level. And even if they're not ready to take the next level, when you nurture that group and that community, because you're consistently there, when they already take the next level, they already know who they need to deal with. They already know who they want to come through, who they want to spend their money with, because you pour so much in them. So with us, we really feel like our superpower has been that building a community. When we were on a previous brand around marriage and family, like I said, we did documentary films. We did 7 documentaries. We would do a documentary film. By the end, we were doing like 6-figure pre-sales of our movies before the DVDs even dropped. And this is DVD. This is, I don't know. You know, everybody listening might be young and they might know what a DVD is. Yeah. But, you know, we had DVDs that we were doing, 6 figures in sales before the DVD even released. And then we were doing our own 7, 8, 9, 10 city tours. The only way we could do that is because we had community. Most of the people in those cities had no idea who we were. Our movies didn't have celebrities in them. They were documentaries. They weren't action flicks. It wasn't, Fast and the Furious, people racing cars. It wasn't, shootouts. It was Black couples talking about relationships, talking about how they love each other, talking about the stuff they went through in their marriages and how they stayed together. And we were able to literally put together our own tours, have sold out shows, multiple sold out shows. We had multiple week runs in certain cities as if it was a big movie, all because we had community. That community was willing to come out to support us, and they were willing to come out and support us because we supported them every day of the week.
That's amazing. So you would recommend anybody just starting out, if they can build a community, right?
Yeah,
and add value, not just build a community to get rich, but build a community because you really want to add value to that community. And
that's it. And I tell people it's two things: have a niche and build a community. Ooh, have a niche and build a community. And so now you're building a community around the niche.
Put that down. I'm sorry.
And yeah, because this is the thing, right? Everybody wants to go broad because they're afraid they miss money. But what they don't realize is they're missing money because they're going broad. So when we started the marriage brand, it was, why are you doing it around being Black and married with kids? Why don't you just be married and kids? Because we married with kids, we're competing with everyone, and we can't get specific. We can't speak directly to the issues and problems. And while 80% of our information may have been the same as any other site, that last 15%, that was the cultural piece, because we were able to niche down and spoke directly to our core consumer. Like that last 15% is what made the difference. So the same thing with TSP, right? Like we don't speak to everyone. We don't, like we specifically focus on business owners. We specifically focus on people like, hey, I already know what I want to do, right? We specifically focus on people that are Black and African American. We got like an age demographic. We know what the psychographic data is, right? What are their beliefs? What is their value system? Like how do they feel when they come to us, when they come and join the group? We got all that data, and we want to focus on those people. So when they come in, they already know like we are who we are, and we are for them. And that's the biggest thing, is like, how can your clients or your customers know that, hey, when I link up with this company, they are specifically for me. They understand what I'm going through. They understand my pain points and challenges, and they can help me solve the issues that I have.
This is dope. I got two questions, 2 in 1. The first one is, why did you niche Black? Why you in other words, like you didn't feel like you probably was leaving some money on the table, offending some people by going Black, pro-Black?
Yeah.
How did you walk through all that mindset thing? Because some people they want to do something similar, but they don't have the confidence. It's okay, if I go so niche down, I'm going to leave some white money, Asian money, Jewish money on the table, So quickly, how did you walk through? What was going on through your mind at that time? And you could also be seen like maybe too racial too, like, why all Black? What about the people? Don't you care about the entrepreneurs, So what was that mental construct at the time?
Oh, I love this. This is good. All right. So, because a lot of people ask this question all the time. So when we launched, like I said, we launched the marriage brand, it was because we wanted to speak directly to that audience, because we knew they were underserved. We knew that nobody was highlighting positive, successful images of Black couples, right? In the media, everything was negative. In the news, everything was negative. So when we launched that marriage and parenting brand, what happened is that we had couples that stood up and said, thank you for representing us, because we've been married 20, 30 years. We never see ourselves represented. And then we had singles that came to us and said, my parents have been married for 40, 50 years, but I never see representation of them. So, right, there was a niche and it was a void, right? And we saw that the void was there. It was a community nobody was speaking to, nobody would honor, and we stepped into that gap. And because we did, the brand quickly grew and it exploded. With traffic, sales, and profit. When we came to traffic, sales, and profit, this is good. All right, if y'all are watching and listening to this thing, get your notepad. I want you to take this down.
Right.
We came to traffic, sales, and profit. We didn't know if we would be necessarily focused on the Black community, right? Because marketing is marketing, right? We teach marketing to anybody, and I have. So when we came to TSP, what happened is the people that were showing up at all of the events were Black, right? The people when I would go online were Black. So at a certain point, I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to serve the people that are showing up and representing me. Now, what a lot of people will do, a lot of people will see all those Black people in the crowd, even though they are Black, and say, "Oh no, I better put some white people or something on the covers of my brochure. It's too Black in there. I want to diversify." But what we did is we went the other way and embraced it. And I'll never forget, we had a conference, TSP Live, in June of 2017. From the stage, I said, "Hey, you know what? We are, for us, by us. We are here for you. We're here to build a new class of entrepreneurs in the Black community. And we had a standing ovation at that point. And literally, like when we planted that flag in the sand, that's what people need to realize. No matter what, it don't have to be Black. Hey, we plant that flag in the sand and said, this is who we are and this is who we stand for. What it does is it attracts. People think like, oh my goodness, all the people I'm gonna lose. All the people that we gained because we said, this is what we're about, this is what we stand for, and this is what we rally, and this is what our mission is. It attracted all of these people to us that said, hey, you know what? They're here for me. They care about me. They want to see me do well, right? They're not just here trying to take advantage or opportunity from me. And the other side of that, I tell people all the time, like, if you want to cater to everybody or different brands or different ethnicities, hey, go for it, right? I'm not against it. What I am against is people telling Black people that they shouldn't market to Black people because everybody else markets to us. I tell people like, do you think the Asian community is some way saying, well, we shouldn't go into Black communities and only target Black people? We need to target, no, like every beauty supply, right? The Asian community owns, right, 90-something% of the beauty supplies in our own communities because they are seeing that there's value in marketing to us. So why wouldn't we see it ourselves?
Wow. And also too, I also want the viewers to be clear too, right? Lamar Tyler, because it's for Black entrepreneurs, doesn't mean it's against other demography or the cultural entrepreneurs. That's it.
So oh my, this is good. We don't want to talk about nothing else, do we? This is good. I love this. So that's the other point, because a lot of times people say, and people are afraid to niche. And like I said, it don't even have to be a Black, white thing, anything like that. People in general are afraid to niche because they're like, hey, if I niche down, like I'm going to miss out on all these other people. But like I said, number one, when you plant your flag, it attracts people to you. Number two, just because this is who you say you are. Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited.
Hey, I'm trying to not shout. All right, go ahead.
Hey, listen, just because you say this is who you're for, other people will still find you and be attracted to you. We have clients that are white, right, that are in our communities that buy our products and stuff because they know, hey, these people know what they're talking about. I want to get a hold of their stuff. I just spoke at Traffic and Conversion Summit earlier this year, right? The largest digital marketing conference on the planet. And it's not a lot of, people of color that attend there. But guess what? I was there. The people in the audience still love my content. They love me, right? I still get the call to speak in front of different audiences that aren't Black. Yeah. So a lot of times, like if you do a great job, right, other people will still come. It's just about when I get focused on my niche, it's about, again, who am I speaking directly to? Who am I focusing my time, my efforts, my money, and my marketing on? And like I said, the more I do that, the quicker I'll grow, the more faster I'll be able to build a community around it, and the more I'll get to where I need to go to. And like you said, like, look, loving myself doesn't mean I don't love other people, right? It just means I get to go on where we got to go to. And specifically to the Black thing, what most people don't understand is that Black is not just a color, especially in the United States. Black is a culture. Wow. So when I really speak to Black, I'm not speaking to color. I'm speaking to the culture.
Dropping bars today.
Don't get me excited, dog. Don't get me excited.
Woo! So ready though. You brought the big guns out today.
This is good. Right. People don't ask me this kind of stuff a lot, so I'm getting excited here, right? So this is what I used to tell people all the time when we did the marriage site. If I'm Italian and you're Italian, we're gonna pretend we Italian right now. Yeah. But you grew up in San Francisco. I grew up in New York City. If we meet somewhere, there's going to be some commonality about the kind of food that we ate.
Yeah.
There's going to be some commonality probably about, I grew up in this type of home. My parents said this, my parents did this. These are things they got mad at. When they got mad, this is how they treated me, right? We probably going to say, hey, it's probably a connection about how we worship. Yeah. And with our faith, even though you from San Francisco and I'm from New York, we're Italian, we probably have a similar faith system. We probably both went to grandma's house and grandma served us and cooked us and said the same type of things to us. That's a cultural connection. What people, fail to understand, especially a lot of times people outside the Black community, and especially right here in the United States, because a lot of us can't trace our lineage back past the 1600s, right? What we have is a cultural connection here with people in this country. So I could be, I live in Atlanta, but I'm from Maryland, DC area. Me being from DC area, I could meet another Black person from Tennessee, from Las Vegas, from California. And it's certain shared experiences that we had because we're Black, but not because of the color Black, because of the culture Black. And I think a lot of times that's what people miss, and that's what they don't really see or understand.
Wow, so much. Okay, so I say the word again, something about putting a flag down. I'm trying to get that exact.
Yeah.
How did you say it?
Yeah, we had to put our flag in the sand. We had to put our flag in the sand. And literally, like I said, when we put that flag in the sand and said, this is who we are, this is what we stand for, and you know, this is who we stand for, that's when it accelerated the whole movement. And really, that's what when we talk about community, I want everybody to listen to figure out, like, okay, how can I build community not around a product, not around a service, but around a movement, right? Because if you build a community just around a particular product, right? If your product changes, you lose the community. If you know what I mean, like if you say, hey, I'm going from this product to another product, a lot of times you can't take that community with you. But can you build it around a movement, right? Something that people desire, something that people want, a place that people want to go in their lives. And then we create it around that movement. And then the products that we move through it don't really matter as much as long as the transformation occurs.
Amazing. Okay, Lamar, this is another thing that is a contradiction with you, okay?
Yep.
Now, there's this myth going on. I don't know if it's a myth or not. Maybe you can tell me. There's this thing going on right now is that if you want to reach Black entrepreneurs, you got to be flashy. You got to have the Rolls Royces, the Lamborghinis, the big chains and stuff for them to believe you. But you don't seem to be that flashy. I don't think I've ever seen you post with Rolls Royce or Lamborghini or big chains or big house or whatever. You seem to like not be that, not kind of follow that school of thought. So what's up with that? Because that's anti what's going on right now on social media, whereby everybody feel like you got to show Black people stuff to believe you, but you're doing pretty good. You're successful, right? But you're not having to do that. So what's up with that? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You successful, or are you faking it, or what? What's going on? Black is supposed to show the stuff. What's up with that?
So I love that's a great question. This is a good interview. I'm enjoying this. So that's a great question. I don't have a Lamborghini. I don't have, most of that stuff. I got a nice car, right? My video team be like, let's get a shot of you getting out the car. I tell them no.
What car you drive? What car you drive?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not
the Rolls Royce.
It doesn't matter. No, it's not even that, right? I'm not even a car. My son is actually a car. My son's in the cars, like he runs a car club. But I'm not a car guy, right? But this is the thing. One of the things, and this is interesting because I said something publicly about this, and it was like a lightning rod. It got so much engagement and stuff online. Is that this is how I live my life? But I realize that there are other people that want to live the same thing. That you can have a multiple $1 million business, such as we have, right? You can have a successful company, you can have employees, you can have real estate, you can have all this stuff and not share it if you don't want to. Now, it's nothing wrong if you do, right? If you do it, and that's lifestyle marketing, and of course it attracts people to you because they see you and they aspire to be like you and everything like that. But there's a whole lot of people, it's just like, I don't want nobody knowing what I got. It's a whole lot of people that say, hey, you know what? I don't want to feel like I have to share my things and put them out there, right? When we originally had the blog, it was a lot of extra numbers and visitors we could have had if we had our kids front and center a lot. I didn't want to have my kids out there for internet consumption. Now I knew that like kids get you just like cars and stuff. Yeah. Man, I got cute kids. I had my cute kids out there. I knew they'd get me a ton of likes. I didn't want to share my kids with the internet. I wanted them to have privacy. So not that anything's wrong with doing any of that, but I do want people to know that if you want to live a life of privacy, if you don't want to show everything that you have or everything that you drive, or you don't want to show the inside of your house, you necessarily don't have to. Now, does that build your audience quick and all that type of stuff? Yeah, it does, but you don't have to. How about this? You don't, and this is almost like blasphemy on the internet. You don't have to be the face of your brand. Nobody tells people that. You can get an ambassador. You can get a spokesperson. You can get somebody else, right? It's a lot of people that have amazing brands, right? And I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are killing it, and people have no idea that they're behind some of the companies that they're behind. But again, right, I think because this isn't a part of the conversation that's often being had at all online right now, people think that it's only one way. And what most marketers won't tell you, I'm about to break the marketing rules right here. I might get in trouble for this. What most marketers won't tell you is that there are a million ways to make $1 million.
Whoa.
A million ways to make $1 million, right? Guess what? We had a brand. Our original brand was a 7-figure brand, and it was built all around. And we made millions of dollars over the course of this brand, right? But it was built all around the primary core products was books and DVDs. And it was a volume play. We had a lot of people, and they bought like a lot of low dollar stuff. Guess what? We got to 7 figures with low dollar products. Right now, traffic, sales, and profit, we get to 7 figures with high dollar products, right? We've done it with events. We've done it with products. We've done it with services. Like, you can do it any way. So this is what I tell people. It's all about finding out what you want to do. It's all about finding out like where you sit and what you feel comfortable with, and then building a business around that. My clients know I got a mastermind, TSP mastermind, and we'll be talking and we're working with them. And I tell them all the time, if you don't like your business, it's nobody's fault but your own, because you literally designed the business that you want. So if you design something and you're a private person and you hate that every time you go somewhere, somebody see you, every time you go somewhere, like people talking about your family, like they know them. If that's not you, you don't literally have to be that. Again, it's a million ways to make $1 million. It's all about finding out what's the best path for you.
Wow, this is so amazing. But what about the men? Did you ever feel pressured when you see a lot of Black entrepreneurs have to post this and that to gain followers? Did you ever feel pressure to like, hey, let me try to get some of those stuff too? Or just like, no, this is just me and I'm gonna stick to it. Did you ever feel pressure to kind of switch?
Not really. Now I know some people totally do, but with me, like you said, I was just like, hey, this is me. This is what I'm about, and like you said, I'm gonna stick to it. What I'm about is what I want people to see. I'm not really tripping off people saying my success. What I want them to see is success of my clients. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, I think we got it mixed up a little bit, because now a mistake that a lot of people that are watching people online make, right, is they're watching people and they're deciding who they want to work with based on how much money that the individuals online have or how much they're perceived to have, versus looking at how much their clients have.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna repeat that, right? If you're watching, like you can look at that person as cool, but like look at the lineage, like what came from that tree. And when you look at what, like what's the fruit that came from that tree? Like if that person got all the money, but their clients don't, that's a problem. If that person got house of cars and their clients don't, that's a problem, right? So being able to really discern, because I know one of the other questions I get a lot of times, Doc, is like people just trying to figure out like who's real and who's not online. Because it's so hard, right? Like if everybody has cars, everybody has house. Yeah. Like, how do I know who's the person that owns this versus the person that rents it? How do I know, who's the person that got this through entrepreneurship versus who's the person that has like a great job in the background, but just don't tell you they got a great job. But who's the person that got
or PPP loan or something?
Hey, right?
Whatever,
exactly. But that's what I say. When you like the fruit don't fall far from the tree. When you start looking at, okay, who are the success stories that came out of that camp? Like what have the clients done? What have the customers done? Then you can start to get a real gleam on, all right, is this a program I should be a part of or not?
Wow, this is amazing. Okay, final question, Lamar, because this is so dope. Right? So just give some info, some bars on how an entrepreneur could double their revenue without doing more work. Can you just speak briefly to that?
Sure. So I love this question. One of the things I always say, and one of the questions I get the most, people are trying to figure out how to make huge jumps in revenue quickly. Because like I said, we did in our original brand, we did it way too slow. Like way too slow. So what I tell people that I didn't know, and I wish I would have known back then, is that the quickest way to double revenue is not what most people think. And what most people think, they say, all right, if I made 100,000 this year, I want to get to 200,000 next year. I got something else I want to add to this too. All right, this is about to be good. Everybody listening. So the first thing they say, I want to get to 100,000 to 200,000. They say, well, if I had 100 customers this year, in order to get to 200,000, I need what? I need 200 customers. I got to double the amount of people that I serve. But that's actually not the quickest way. The quickest way is to double the amount of money that the people you're already serving pay you. So if I want to get to 200,000, right, instead of going from 100 people to 200 people, I just got to get to 100 people just paying me $1,000 instead to pay me $2,000. Wow. If I can increase two things, right, I want to focus on number one, their average order value. Average order value is when they come to my product or service and they buy it and they purchase, how can I increase the amount they spend right there at the transaction? And then the other thing I want to increase is the customer lifetime value. Over the course of this person's relationship with me and my business, how can I get them to come back and spend again and again and again? When we focus solely on getting new people in, oftentimes we miss the mark on these other two, right? And the other two, like I said, two things that gave you are quicker ways to actually double your revenue. When we're just looking for new people, what we do is we churn and burn. We get new people in, we sell them whatever we want to, and then we push them out the back door, and then we go looking for new folks. If I'm trying to increase the average order value, and I got people spending $1,000 with me, I can try to incorporate upsells. Hey, somebody comes in, when they're buying whatever they're buying, I can make them another offer for the next piece. Like what is something that would be the next step in what they're doing? One of my mentors, Jermaine Griggs, he's always talk about it in like college terms, and you should know all about this, right? After somebody takes that 101 course, then they're ready for like 102, or they graduate and go to 201 or whatever it may be. In your product or service, like what is the next best thing, the next fit? Is there cross-sell opportunity, right? That might be the things that go along with it. When we shop on Amazon, if you look for a book on Amazon, Amazon will say, well, people that bought this book also bought these other books as well, right? Even when we go to Best Buy, I tell people, I go to Best Buy to buy a camera. I looked up a Sony camera that was, $600 something. As soon as I get to the register, what are people going to ask me? Hey, do you want a protection plan?
Yeah.
The crazy thing about it is it already comes with a protection plan. That protection plan is called a warranty that comes from the manufacturer.
Right.
But literally on a $600 camera, they're going to sell you into a $200 warranty on a warranty you already got. That's a 20% revenue bump for them. So in most of our businesses, we can easily see one of the quickest things I can see, if somebody does not have upsells in their business, they literally can probably get at least a 20% bump just by offering something of higher price when people are already checking out, when they already got their credit card out, when they're already ready to buy, just for asking the question, hey, would you like this as well? And making some type of offer or some type of deal, they can get more. Like I said, that's the second thing. Last thing I spoke about a minute ago, the third thing is getting people to come back more often. How can we get them to spend with us again and again? How can we make sure it's not a one-time transaction? If I have a beauty product or a skincare product, I want to know, like, how long does it take somebody to use my skincare product? So that if it takes 4 weeks, in week number 3, I'm already in their inbox with a promotion or a special or a deal to get them back. With the ultimate goal being to get them on subscription so they don't even have to come back to me. I can just auto bill and auto charge and send it out to them, when they actually run out. But these things, again, are how we can get the current customer we have to spend more. When we focus on the current customers, we offer them better value. When we focus on the current customer, they become our ambassadors. And they go out and promote the brand and become evangelists for our brand on our behalf without us having to do anything. And we promote those customers, right? It actually makes our business a lot easier than always having to go out and find new leads. The cost for you acquiring new customers is not going down. It's going to get more expensive and more expensive and more expensive. So like that real key is just focusing on the people that you already have. Not saying don't go out and get new people, right, but make sure you're focusing more on the people you already have, increasing the actual average order value, how much they spend with you right now at the point of sale, and then increasing their customer lifetime value, how many times they can come back to you. That will explode your business.
Wow, that is so amazing. Thank you so much, Lamar. There's so much more. I'm going to be releasing my new podcast soon. I'm going to reach out to you. I want you to be my first guest, because there's so much more I want to talk about, but just for the sake of time for this summit, we're going to have to call this short, But before we go, I got 3 rapid questions for you. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book is Succeeding Against the Odds. It's a story of John H. Johnson, the owner of Johnson Publishing, Ebony, Jet Magazine, Fashion Fair Cosmetics. Everybody should read it.
What's the number one thing the number one business secret that helped you to be so successful today?
2, I'll say 2, right? 1, to always be learning, and 2, to listen to others. Because there's a lot of people that ask other people questions, but don't actually do what other people tell them to do. So to listen to others, to be open to it, and then to be open to learn. Always knowing I'm never done learning. I'm always in a program. I'm always in a mastermind. I'm always reading books. Like, information is really the key to your next level of success.
Wow. So final question is that what would you say to a starting entrepreneur that is scared to launch their digital product?
Hey, I would say get started. Done is better than perfect. And when you get analysis paralysis and you get stuck where you are, no matter how perfect you think it may be 2, 3, 4 years from now, guess what? You'll still need to do three things. I say, no matter who you are, where you are, you got to launch it, you got to analyze it, then you got to optimize it. If I get it out into the marketplace, I can validate my idea quicker. I can get somebody to buy it. I can analyze who bought, who didn't. I can optimize it and do that again and again. By the time the perfectionist does the same thing, I'll probably launch, analyze, optimize 4 or 5 times. I have a customer base. I have a community. And I'll be steadily already making money and in the flow while they're just starting to launch in the first cycle. So get it out the door, right? You must launch. You must get it done. Set a date now and make it happen.
Wow, guys, you just heard Lamont say you got to launch it, man. It's better to put it out there than to try to make it perfect, So how can people find you and follow you,
Yep, you can find me on Instagram or on social at Lamar Tyler, LamarTyler. And for more about traffic, sales, and profit, you can visit the website www.trafficsalesandprofit.com.
Wow, Lamar, this was amazing. Oh my God, I took a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes. This was amazing, and thank you for pouring to this conference, and thank you for coming to the Vonza Virtual Summit. And I'll be talking with you soon.
Thank you.